Okay, everyone, and welcome to the Essence of Writing. And this is the second week of class. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how to do an argument. But the most important thing is to look over there. Oh, wait, no, over there? Yeah. And you can see, without coffee, it's super hard to work every day. So, as per usual, I've had like 16 cups of coffee. I'm really excited. I'm ready to jump around. And I'm ready to teach. What I need you to do today is just to remember, always try your best. I know that some of you don't have your textbooks. So if you don't have your textbook, it's not a problem. I mean, I'll try to show you the questions and you can answer them, but don't forget, write your answers in your book, write your answers somewhere so that you can practice and look at what you have to do. Now, most of the time, it's not difficult because I show the answers in this. So try to pause the video, try to say and pause things, because otherwise you're just gonna cheat and just wait for my answer. But I'll always show the answer so that you can practice and you can compare your answer with my answer. You can try and find the right way. And as I told you, these writing things are gonna be on the exam. This unit 2 is not on the test, but I want you just to practice and just to see other forms. Now, this textbook is a little bit like a reading book and just looking, but you're going to have to write a little bit. So don't worry, just try your best. And always, I'm happy so long as you try. And again, this week, I upload the video, but you can do it anytime you want. This is 2 weeks worth of classes, so you can do half and then half. But I will do the video all the way through so that you can do everything and you can understand. Now, I'm hoping that we'll have classes after you finish writing this, and in class time we won't have to do the writing book because you'll already have finished it, and we can just do lots of speaking practice when we go to class time. So let's get ready to start. We've all had our coffee, we're all excited hopefully for a little bit of writing time. So here we go. Now, this is for the university, so obviously they explain we're going to look at arguments, what are arguments, talking about the way that they are, looking at examples and things like this. We're going to have some practice writing parts to do with it, and we're going to have a look at feedback, looking at errors, looking at mistakes people make, so that we can change our writing and try not to make those kind of mistakes in the future. This is just a general outline from the university, so don't worry too much about how it all is. The idea is we'll just go through it as easily as I can teach it, and hopefully it's perfect for you. So don't worry, you're like, oh, I'm not sure. If you ever have a problem, ask me. I'm here to help you. You might be like, Fraser, why are you wearing a pink t-shirt or hot pink t-shirt? I have lots of terrible fashion choices, but it's okay. Don't worry about that. Care about your writing. So now we're on to page 40, and the idea is it's looking at the quotes again. So usually I'd skip through this, but as I have to fill the time, I'm going to explain. Everything is an argument. Without contraries is no progression. Attraction and repulsion, reason and energy, love and hate are necessary to human existence. So, what are they trying to say? Have a think about it and just think, oh, that's the meaning. They're obviously saying that arguments are important. We can't do anything without them. We need to live together with arguments to provide our society, make sure everything is an argument to like progress. You know, there's like yin and yang, opposites attract, going against each other, but it's an argument is what they're saying. Now, this is just what, you know, how you feel and interpret life. So everybody might have a little bit of a different answer. Next time. What I want you to do is, in the textbook they give a picture and they give a question. I just want you to write down about the statements and just give your opinion. Now, the first one says regulations should be made for writing comments on online news or articles. Just write down or think about your own opinions. Now, you can write in the textbook somewhere. You can just think about your opinions. Now, it is writing class, so I guess you should write somewhere. So, look at the book, have a think about it. So as I say, like go through the book and just find somewhere to write if there's no space. Sometimes maybe you want to write more and it's hard. So for example, here in the textbook, there's a gap at the bottom. You can just make some notes, like what you think about this. But it's up to you because, we never know, right? We all have different opinions. That's the whole reason for this class, is to, broaden ourselves, talk about things together. So what do you think? Just pause the video, write down a couple of things. So obviously there's different arguments, pros and cons, negative points, positive points. So both of these can be used when you're thinking about argument, positive and negative, pro and con. So what do you think? It's your choice. Some regulation would be good because you have anonymity. That means nobody knows who you are. You're anonymous. So I can be anonymous and I could post anything, and then it's maybe really hurtful or makes you sad or cry, and then it's a problem. So maybe you have to make online comments and things like this so we know who you are, like a real account. Or maybe they think along the lines of it doesn't matter. So it's your choice. What do you think? Now we're on to page 42, and as you can see it says, what is argument? Like, not an argument that you're having, but what is argument, the form of writing? So the idea is to think it's to take a position on an issue and to defend your position. So if I think this is the right answer, then I want to try to defend it, say why I'm right. And the idea is to try to convince somebody that your point of view is better or sometimes the best. So if you look at the picture on the screen here, you can see it says this is 4, and if you look at the bottom of the picture, there's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the guy on the other side is thinking like, no, there's 3. I can only see 3, like 1, 2, 3. So this is a very simple optical illusion where we can't see the exact thing perfectly. But the idea is very simple. You want to take a position, say why you're correct, and defend your position. You're fighting, say like why we're right, why everything is good. And that's the idea, is to convince, make people think we are right. We have the right ideas and point of views. So these are very simple ideas that we're going to be using today when we talk about argument. Now, it comes to when do we use an argument? We use it for rhetorical genre of writing in our everyday life. So it's very simple. We write an argument like saying our opinions about things and saying why we're right. When you send a letter to the editor of a magazine or something like this, maybe you're saying like, oh, this is the reason why I think this is correct, why it's right, why I think so. So we use it many times in everyday life, like sending a letter to people. Maybe we want to do political arguments, so we're saying why policy is wrong. Like there's a problem with the country, you want to say, no, we need to change this. Maybe you think Korea shouldn't have any incoming people, like open border at the moment because of the virus. So you can say like, oh, I think we shouldn't have this, and give some reasons why you think so. So you could argue against policy, school policy, universities, these kind of things, government policies. You want to argue and give your opinion about them. Next time, you want to convince your boss of a better way of doing something. So obviously at work, you might be like, oh, hey boss, can you help me? And they're like, no, this is the way. And you're like, but actually, this would be better, and give the reasons why. So we want to give reasons, try to give an opinion about everything like that. Next one. Every interaction. So remember, if we're having an argument or like we're talking about something, we have to have an interaction. Like we go eating out, talking with our friends. You give your opinion on something and you say why it's right, an argument. Maybe we're doing it to convince to buy a smartphone. So many people need a new phone like me. So I asked you, oh, what phone should I buy? Some of you said flip phone, like the Galaxy Flip. And you said, oh, because it looks cool. Or some of you said the iPhone 11 because it takes great pictures. These are all forms of argument, saying why something is better and convincing people to follow your opinion. The next one, when we're talking about TV programs like drama, YouTube, and you want to give your opinion. And then the next one, like replying to articles, blogging, internet, posting something, comments. These kind of things are the ones that we're looking for. So we know how to form our opinions and how to get to know something better. Now on page 43, they give some first points of the examples that you can do. But the idea is to remember, when you're giving an argument, you need to give an example. So you want to tell people facts or anecdotes that illustrate your argument. Now, a fact, so if you're going to argue, I'm going to do the first one. If you want to argue that there are not enough schools in your community, you can explain that one has over 1,000 students in a small space. So that's a fact. It's the truth. There's no denying, no fake news. That's fact. The next one, if you think that smartphone addiction causes people to be antisocial, you might tell a personal story about one of your friends who finds himself in this situation. That's an anecdote. A personal situation, a personal story where something has affected you and you want to give that as an example. So there's two kinds of example. Fact, which is true. Anecdote, which is something that relates to your life, that's just an experience that you've had, so you can explain about this. The next one is expert opinion. So when you're doing an article and you're writing or typing something, then maybe you think like, oh, I read paper, and then that's got somebody's opinion in there. So doctor, scientist, like professor's opinion, not my opinion. But some professor's opinion, then you could say like that, and you'd be like, oh, if you want to maintain that exercise is helpful for our mental health, you can quote a doctor who specializes or wrote a paper like this. The next one is logical consequence, and that means to develop your arguments. So give long-term, short-term sequence for your opinion. So here's the topic, the best method to improve one's health. Traveling is one of the best ways to improve our health. Traveling helps us to remove stress that comes from our daily routine. By keeping stress at bay, we can feel refreshed and stay mentally and physically healthy. So these examples here you can see is talking about short-term daily routines, and then the long-term we can feel like this. The idea is it's talking about like a progression, logical consequence, step 1, then step 2, then step 3, step 4. Not step 1, step 5, and you've skipped something. It's got to be following the order. So there's no craziness going on. You just follow it through. The next one, and when you do an argument, you should always include the counter argument. So maybe you're thinking like, well, what's a counter argument? That means the opposing opinion. Counter means opposite. So a counter, opposite. So if I said smoking is good, and I gave reasons, you'd think I'm crazy, right? But then that would be, you would give a counter argument. And you would say, Fraser, you're crazy. I'm never listening to you again. Your opinion is terrible, like this. So it means there's many opinions. So when you're giving a counter argument, you give the opposing opinion to your viewpoint. So you want to make a fair argument. You want to make it equal, not just like this is the right, this is right, this is right. You want to say, but sometimes this could be right. So you want to make sure that you give a counter argument, saying what is another point of view. So native English teachers are far more advantageous over Korean English teachers, especially in the area of pronunciation. So you think, oh, like Fraser can speak English well, his pronunciation must be perfect, like this. And as you can hear, it's not perfect, right? Maybe it's not bad. Oh, maybe I'm okay. But you can see here the opposition. Some people deny the importance of accurate pronunciation, saying that content or meaning is what matters in communication. And I think that this policy is right. I think that if I can understand you, then we're good. If I can't understand you, like your grammar is completely wrong and I don't understand, but your pronunciation is perfect, what am I supposed to do? Like, we don't know, right? So the idea is you can think there where it says, however, it's undeniable that inaccurate pronunciation causes like people to miscommunicate. So wrong pronunciation can cause problems. So you can give the counter argument, saying the opposite, but saying why or how there are differences in opinion. Now, what I want you to do is, now the next page is page 45. What I want you to do is, I just want you to look at the infographic. Now for today's class, I've put the infographic on the screen so you can see it's like really easy. The writing is a little bit small, and I'll be honest about that. And that's one of the problems with the infographics in this book. It's really tiny to see. I want you just to look at the information on here and look at the images and just try to think like, what do you think this is about? Like this infographic, this poster, what's in here? Now, the title is a huge hint in all of this book. So whenever you look at the infographics, the title is going to give you a big hint about like, what is it about? The heading can help you in the text, and the pictures sometimes are good and sometimes are terrible, to be honest. So it's up to you what you think. So look at the images and just like make a note. What do you think? So pause it. And hopefully you've written down a couple of things about this. And you can see homeschooling, it takes time and money. And then it's got two titles. One is money and time. And number two is opposing view and responses. So you can see the first one is saying like maybe the good points or bad points. Like number one, money and time. And then number two, it's saying the opposing view. So the counter argument. So it says homeschooling, it takes time and money. So we can understand that it's going to be about homeschooling. Okay, and we can understand that the main points are going to be money and time. So we can know that. Next one is on page 46. Now, I want you to do the reading. But before you do the reading, I'm just going to go through the questions that we're going to answer. So we're going to answer question number one. Question number one, what is the paragraph about? Check the title. It's going to give the answer. So check the titles of the infographic and the writing in the essay. You'll be able to see it. Number two, find the topic sentence. Now remember, last week I explained the topic sentence is near the start. It's going to give the argument and the points. So what they think. So usually the topic sentence is the first or second in the essay. And you will be able to find what they're talking about from the topic sentence. So what is their opinion? And they'll say the reasons, but not detail. The rest of the writing will give the detail. Next on, how does he support the topic sentence? What is his evidence? So he's going to give reasons why he thinks it's wrong. So what's his evidence? The next question is the counter argument. Now, maybe you're still like, oh, I don't understand counter argument. So you want to think about what is the opposite to what they said. Now, many times people use but, however. This is the main area where you'll know they're talking about the other point of view, like however, like but. Sometimes people write down other people say, and they say arguments like this. So remember, people are going to say other people say, then you know it's going to be the counter points. So other people say, or other professors say, then you know it's the opposite to what they're saying. So whenever people use the words like but, however, other people say, around that area is going to be where the counter arguments. Number 5, you can skip. Good. And number 6, give your opinion on the infographic. So what I want you to do is I want you to read through this example. Maybe you don't have the book, so I put it on here so you can see it. I'm in the way, so Fraser, pick you up. And now I'm over here. But you can read it and you can have a look. So have a look at it, read through it, and then I want you to answer the 6 questions. So I'm going to pause me. Pink heart today. Alright, hello everyone, we're back. And hopefully you took a little bit of time to have a read through and answer the questions. Now, What we're going to do is we're going to go through the answers, and I always want to make sure that you understand. So the first one, what is the paragraph about? So this is our opinion-based writing about somebody's point of view. What are they talking about? Pew! Bam! They're talking about the disadvantages of homeschooling. So if you go back to the last one, I gave the answer already. Game over. All right, and what we want to do is we want to go through the questions now. The first one is, what is the paragraph about? Now, if you look at the title, it says homeschooling, so we know it's about homeschooling. And it says, is big ticket education. Big ticket is an expression that people use for something that is expensive, or sometimes people say it's like the best, but in general it means it's expensive. If something is big ticket, it means it's expensive. So you'd be like, oh, I bought a Ferrari, or it's big ticket, you know, like, oh wow. Some people think big ticket can mean like the best, like most expensive. So we can see that we're thinking homeschooling is expensive, education is, you know, like a big something, you know that, so you know it's going to be along this ways. So if we look at the answers, what is the paragraph about? Well, we know after you've read it that it's about the potential disadvantages of homeschooling, like the negative points of homeschooling. Next on. Find the topic sentence and write it below. I've given you the answer so you can see it's there. So remember, the topic sentence will say what is their opinion. So you've said what is your opinion. I claim that homeschooling is not a solution, so they think it's not good because it demands huge sacrifice and time. So the topic sentence gives their opinion and why they think so, but not detail. The detail is in the writing. Next on. How does the writer support the topic sentence? Cost. So they said time and money. So we need to know financial, money sacrifice, and time sacrifice. The cost. Even though you can see that they have good accomplishments in education, one of the parents, usually the mother, quits her job. So she has no money. So if we have two income, lots of money, and suddenly only one, we're poorer. So you can see there, it's not the way. So in this case, the mother quits her job and it's really hard. Another way that they support it is talking about time. And they say, oh, Fraser again, they say homeschooling asks parents to forgo a large portion of their time. So it means I have no free time. I have to do like education and looking after the child, and there's nothing that I can do because I'm always spending time with my children. So in this case, they're giving up a career, giving up their job, giving up their free time just to look after it. So that's how they lose their time. So that's a negative. The next one, what is the counter argument? So as I said, where it starts saying like but, however, or, they say one more thing. Can you remember? Other people say. So other people say that they can find good and inexpensive resources on the internet. So they said that it's cheap. Oh, just go Google and find something. But that's not always true, right? Usually the good things online you have to pay for. You can't always, you know, like drop down everything like me. So, you know, it's a little bit of a problem. Do you think the author uses a variety of sentence structures? Don't worry. We're on to number 6. And number 6 was, what do you think about the infographic? Is it good or is it bad? Now, it's not easy to see the pictures relating to the topic of education, like a watch and some money. And the text is a little bit too small, and that's just this textbook. This textbook is really small, and the pictures are small. You can't see it. The infographic does present some of the text effectively because it shows the two main arguments, like it shows time and money, so you know it's going to be about time and money. And the counter argument, it does say about them, the points in there. But for me, it's just a little too small and it's a little hard. So who knows, right? Now you need to go into page number 49. Page 49 is talking about your opinion, you writing something. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at the 4 choices and I want you to choose one. So, number 1, think about the following controversial issues in our society. a bookless library is better than traditional library. So like ebooks are better than like a regular book library. Celebrities are public figures whose lives should be open to the public. So celebrity is famous person. No, not me. Maybe it's Ryan. Ryan's famous. So it's saying like everybody's should be able to see their life. Like no closing, paparazzi, no problem, take pictures and everything. Number 3, CCTV should be installed in every corner or at every corner to stop crime. So they're saying CCTV should be everywhere. So is it a good thing or a bad thing? And the last one, regulations should be made for writing comments on online news or articles. So what I want you to do is I want you to choose one of them. And I just want you to write down like the main ideas, some evidence that you could give, like some way to support your argument and this kind of thing. So I'm going to give you a few minutes again, just pause it, just try to write down the things that you think. So select one of them, think of some idea, brainstorm, think of the idea, and then just write it down in your textbook. So just pause the video. Beep. I'm going to give you some examples. You maybe have a different answer, but I did number 4. So tentative title, comments can make people die. So like bad internet comments, can cause people to commit suicide, like have problems. So topic sentence, although it's okay to express one's opinion on comments, some regulations should be made to prevent potential crime and someone getting hurt. So this is my topic sentence, like the beginning of there, giving my opinion. So saying we need regulations to stop crime, to stop people getting hurt. So I give my opinion, we need regulations, and then I say why. To prevent crime and stop people getting hurt. Point number 1. Although it's not physical violence, it may hurt others' feelings, so it's mental violence, like abuse. So detail, as children see people shouting abuse, they might feel that shouting is not wrong, or maybe they can grow up as potential criminals. So it's not physical, but it still hurts people. So you can give an example and see. Number 2, anonymity allows people to say their opinions unfiltered. So I don't know who you are online, you type anything, you make any comment, anything, nobody knows what's going to happen, so that's why. So you can see there it says details like witch hunt. Witch hunt means you find them. So I post a comment online, nobody knows who I am, I'm like secret, but then somebody's finding me online. Oh, this is this person, he lives here. Next on, celebrities suffer from negative social media comments and eventually it can end up with suicide. In Korea, there's been many cases where like Soli or Guara, where they've had lots of negative things online and people have caused suicide. So this kind of thing is very important to understand, that people are emotional, people are humans. We are affected by what people say. So this is a really important point that you should know about. The next one. So this is really important. The next page is all about just practice. So what do you think about the infographic? Just write down your opinion, whatever you want to say about this. What's the best way to get healthy? Is it good or is it bad? That's all you have to write down. What do you think, good or bad? Good points, bad points, good points, bad points. Just give your opinion like that. So this is the feedback part. We're going to just give people, help if they've, tried to do something. All right, and now the next part is here, page 53. I want you to look at the writing, and I want you to find any errors that you can. So, bam! Did you see it? Was it too fast? Probably too fast, right? But you can see here, on there, we have some errors at the bottom. So just look at your textbook and try to find the errors, and try to change the errors. Now, remember, you're looking for mistake. Any errors or mistakes, and can you think about how we categorize the errors? Like, how is it wrong? Like, what's wrong with it? What I want you to do is to pause the video. So pause me and have a look at it. Doop. Poop. Maybe you have, so pause it. All right, welcome back. And here we go. Let's do it. Boom. Da. So we're going to have a look at them. So the first one is article errors. So articles are very simple. It's like a and the. And in this case, it says your health is to have healthy habits. Your health is to have a healthy habit. So we're missing the article a. So we have to go through this way. Next on. Missing. Something's missing. A word or part of the word is missing, or a full word is missing. So you can see there it says drinking water is not drinking much. So drinking water is not drinking too much in that sentence. Applied to every life. Nope, we're talking about everyday life, not everyone's life, like applied to everyday life. The next one is using the wrong kind of punctuation. So you have to apply to every life, comma, among them drinking. No, apply to every life, period, or full stop, among them drinking. So then we're listing and talking about different things. This is a different part, not together in the same part. We're talking about another thing, in this case, among them drinking. The next one is spelling. So forming regular healthy habits. So we've used or forgotten to use like the L, and we need to put that in. So spelling is a problem. And the last one, punctuation. So you can see there, among them drinking water, among them, comma, drinking water. So we want to have that there. So among them drinking water. These are very common errors that you can find, and they are in there. So hopefully you found them and you wrote them down. If you didn't find them, don't worry. I hope you're trying to find them. That's all I can say. I'm sure you found most of them. Maybe you found some other ones or something different. No problem. Now, what I want you to do is to think about how we can help people. And we have some common problems and ways to improve people's writing. So in this case, what I want you to do is just to look at a way to avoid some kind of problem called nominalization. And this is when we have a word other than a noun, such as verb, adjective, or adverb, and is used as a noun with or without morphological change. That just means changing the way the word looks. So sentences with nominalizations can make people make a mistake. Like, what's the meaning of the, what's the, it doesn't make sense. So many times people write something and we have a problem because they've used the wrong form of the word. And this is the meaning. And you can see there's a couple of examples, like decide is the verb, decision is the noun, examine is the verb, examination is the noun, conclude is a verb, and conclusion is the noun. So these are examples, okay? In the textbook, it says page number 54. Oh, bam! And what you need to do is you need to look at the sentence and change it. So when it says analyze, it's saying look for the error. And then what we want to do is we want to revise, write the correct way. So even if you don't have the textbook, you can still write this down because you know what the answers are. So remember, we want to analyze the sentence. Her clarification of the matter impressed her team. So we're going to change one of these words, or two of these words in this case. Think about it. You can pause the video. Beep, boop, bam! So in this case, clarification is the noun, and we want to change it into the verb form. So in this case, she clarified the matter which impressed her team. So we needed to change one of them to make it a bit better and understandable. Her clarification of the matter impressed her team. Oh, I understand the meaning, no problem. She clarified the matter which impressed her team. This way is written in a way that sounds easier to understand, like we can read it and understand it a lot clearer this way. Let's try number 2. So number 2, maybe it's super easy for you. There is a request for increase in job opportunities. So again, think about it. Channel your brain power. You can do it. Your brain is telling you the answer. So think about the answer. I'm going to use my Harry Potter magic to send it to you. Yep, maybe you've got it. You've paused it. You've done it. So we're going to change one of them. And we're going to put it in the right way. What is it? Bam! Request. Now, we're going to use the verb form of request. so we need to change it a little bit. People requested for an increase in job opportunities. This is just to make it easier for people to understand. So again, we're just making sure that people can understand it easier. And number 3, the final one. The intention of our government is promotion of a happy life. In this case, you can understand there's a mistake here. So you should be able to find it. So you should be able to make it into a sentence that's easier to read. I'll give you a second. Just pause the video again. So intention, intended. All right, and it's time for the final one. The final one, what's it going to be? Let's go. There's a request. Okay, that's correct. Now, here we go. The intention of our government is promotion of a happy life. So we have to make a change. We're analyzing the sentence. Look for 2 things that you could change. This time, there's 2. So think about 2 of them that you can change. 2 that you can change. You can do it. I'm channeling my powers to you. So pause the video. Pause it and then go for it. You've got it. Let's do it. Pause. And we've done it. That's right. Intention, the noun form, we're changing to intend, the verb form. Promotion, again, noun form, changing to promote into the verb form. So making this sentence clearer to read, our government intends to promote a happy life. All right, and we're on to the final part. That's the argument paragraph, the checklist, making sure we know what is right. So what should we include in our essay, in our writing to make it perfect? The first one, is our topic sentence clearly stated in your position? Yes, no, maybe yes. No, it has to be there. What's your opinion? Why you think so? Number 2, do you make strong points to support your argument? So you can't say like, oh, I think this is right, and then be like, oh, maybe, or because, blah, 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 and you're like, I think so. No, we want strong points. So try to give good points for your argument. Next one, do you include examples, logical consequences, or responses to possible counter arguments? So you want to make sure you give facts and anecdotes. You want to make sure you're logical, like A to B to C. No, A to F to J, like that. No, it has to be logical, making sure it's step by step. And then making sure you can think about people's response, like why they think the opposite to you. Do you end the paragraph with an appropriate concluding sentence? Now, we didn't talk about this when we did the reading, but there should always be a conclusion, a wrapping up. So at the beginning, you say your position, and then you give your evidence, and you go through everything, and you talk about examples, and you think what other people might say. But at the end of the writing, there should always be an appropriate conclusion. So you say what's your opinion and why, but you wrap it up. Just a summary, concluding what it's about. The next one, it says, do you use various sentence structures? Of course, like we have to make sure that we use different kinds of sentences. It's not just all short sentences like the first unit, narration. It needs to have different kinds. And the last one, do you avoid grammatical errors? Obviously, this is just practice. I mean, you'll make mistakes in your writing. It just takes time and practice. As I told you, we don't really have time to go through all the writing in this class, like writing essays for me. But for the midterm test, for the final test, I will explain exactly what you need to do, how to do it, so you don't have to worry. If you ever want to have your writing checked by somebody, we won't have time in our class if we have class. So just make sure that you practice and you just go through the writing book. Just check the answers. Make sure you can follow what you have to write. And there we go. And again, I'm here with my love. And she's there. Hi. Hello. You can see it's time to go. Thank you for listening today. You've all done a great job. And as I know, I'm a fashion terrorist with my terrible clothes, and it's maybe really bright and hard to see. But I'm really happy that you all came here, and I'm sorry that you have to just listen to me talk about things and do a little bit of writing practice. But I hope it's not terrible, and I hope you can understand. And that's it for today. I'm really happy. I've made many mistakes in today's video. I'll edit them out and hopefully it looks okay. But that's it for today. Everybody, have a lovely day and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Everyone, and last week I managed to fail with my Harry Potter chance to go to Hogwarts. So I've been practicing with my sun and pencil. We can do this. We're gonna try. So, obliviate. Fantastic, it's gone. It's magic. I'm going to Hogwarts. Everybody, that's it. Thank you. I'm going. Bye.